There's a guy, let's call him Marcus. For 2 years, he woke up before sunrise, laptop open, coffee getting cold beside him, building something nobody else could see yet. And here's the thing about Marcus. He wasn't secretive. He wasn't reserved. He was the kind of person who got genuinely excited about what he was building and couldn't help but share it. So he did. He told his friends over dinner. He told his co-workers in the break room. He posted small updates online. Every new development, every small win, every milestone. He shared it, openly, eagerly, and for a long time the response felt warm. That's amazing. I love that for you. Let me know if I can help. He believed them. Why wouldn't he? The support felt real. The encouragement felt genuine. So he kept sharing, and the people around him kept nodding. Then, about 14 months in, something changed. He got his first real client, then a second, a small media feature. His name started appearing into places it hadn't before. And that's when the people around him shifted. Not loudly, not in any way he could point to directly, just shifted. The friend who always asked for updates suddenly seemed distracted when Marcus brought it up. A co-worker who had praised the idea for months made a passing comment that the market was probably already saturated. His cousin, at a family dinner, made a joke that was technically a joke, but landed like a warning. Marcus sat with that confusion for a long time, because the support had felt so real. So where did it go? That's exactly what Robert Greene warns about in law, 3 of the 48 laws of power. Conceal your intentions. Not because the world is full of enemies, but because of something far more uncomfortable. Most people are quietly at war with their own unlived potential. And when someone close to them starts visibly winning, that war becomes harder to ignore. Think about what was actually happening around Marcus. For over a year, his dream was still a dream, still theoretical, still safely out of reach, and a dream that costs nothing to cheer for gets all the warmth in the world. People were rooting for the lottery ticket, not expecting it to win. The moment it started winning, the calculation changed. Suddenly, his success wasn't abstract. It was real, measurable. It sat in the same room as people who had their own unrealized ideas, their own postponed ambitions, their own quiet regrets. And without saying a word, Marcus's results had become a mirror nobody asked to look into. That's when the support curdled into something else. It never announced itself as jealousy. People are too self-aware for that. Instead, it arrived dressed as concern, as pragmatism, as I just want to be honest with you. The same voices that said go for it now said, are you sure about the timing? The same faces that smiled at the dream were the ones now poking holes in the execution. Now, picture a different scene entirely. An office, a regular Tuesday morning meeting. There's a woman on the team, let's call her Claire, who hasn't mentioned anything about a side project. Nothing. For 8 months, she's shown up, done her work, been present in every conversation. Normal, unremarkable, completely ordinary to everyone watching. Then one afternoon, she sends an email to the team. She's resigning, effective in 2 weeks. She's launching something she's been building quietly. The room goes silent in a way it doesn't when people quit for another job. Someone asks, "How long have you been working on this?" She says, "About 8 months." Nobody saw it coming. Nobody had the chance to water down her confidence before she was already on the other side. Nobody introduced doubt disguised as concern. Nobody's unconscious ceiling became her psychological limit. She had protected the process by making it invisible. And the respect in that room, the kind that's hard to fake, the kind that comes out of genuine surprise, was different from anything she would have received had she shared every step along the way. Here's the part most people miss about this law. It's not about being cold. It's not about distrust. It's not about playing games with the people around you. It's about understanding what happens to information when it travels. When you tell someone your goal before you have any results, before there's anything real to point to, you hand them a mental model of who you are. And that model has a ceiling. The version of you they imagine is still uncertain, still unproven, still manageable. When you later exceed that ceiling, they don't just update their model smoothly. They resist it, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes through small comments that seem like nothing. But the resistance is real. Now, think about what happens when someone appears, seemingly out of nowhere, already past the finish line. No old version to compare against. No fragile early stage that absorbed their doubt. Just results. And results command a kind of respect that intentions never can. There's a third scene worth sitting with. Two friends, same social circle, both ambitious, both intelligent, both capable. One of them talks constantly about what he's going to do. Every dinner, every conversation, his plans, his ideas, his vision. People listen, people engage. They even admire the ambition. But month after month, nothing changes. The plan is always a plan. The idea is always an idea. The second friend says almost nothing, goes quiet, disappears a little socially. And then 1 year later, he's done the thing. Watch how the social circle responds to each of them. The first friend is liked. He's familiar. People have comfortable feelings about him because they've never been surprised by him. Nothing he does disrupts the order. The second friend creates something different in people, a kind of involuntary recalibration, because he didn't ask permission to change. He didn't give anyone the chance to talk him out of it. He just did it. And now nobody quite knows how to place him anymore. That discomfort, that recalibration, is what status actually feels like when it shifts. Machiavelli understood something about human nature that most people find difficult to accept. It's not that people want you to fail. Most of them genuinely don't. It's that your success, visible, real, undeniable, asks something of them. It asks them to explain why they haven't done something similar. And rather than sit with that question, they redirect the discomfort outward, toward you, not with hatred, not with open opposition, just with slightly less warmth, slightly less enthusiasm, a few more realistic observations than before, a few more casual doubts introduced at exactly the moment you needed clarity. The goal doesn't need an audience to grow. It needs silence and time. Marcus eventually figured this out. He stopped sharing the next chapter. Not because he became bitter, not because he stopped trusting people, but because he finally understood something he should have known earlier. The people who truly support you will celebrate the result without needing to have known about the process. The people who only supported the dream will struggle quietly, privately, to explain the success. And the difference between those two groups will tell you more about the people around you than any conversation ever could. Most people don't mind your dream. They mind the evidence that it might come true. That's why Law 3 isn't just about secrecy. It's about protection. Protecting the fragile early stage of something real before other people's doubt becomes your own. Conceal your intentions. Let the results introduce you.